Game 2 moments away before the Blue Jays and the Yankees head to New York. Game 3 in the Bronx on Tuesday night. Will it be a 1-1 split, or will the Blue Jays take a stranglehold in this best of 5? A 19-game winner in Max Fried and a 22-year-old in Trey Yesavage. A first-round pick out of East Carolina University last June. Started the year in A-ball at Dunedin. He jokes, but he's being serious. I played at 5 levels this year. I know everybody in the entire organization, and he ain't lying. He has made his way from A-ball up to the big leagues, and now in just his 4th major league appearance, he will start against the New York Yankees in a playoff game. And that means that he and Pete Walker and Alejandro Kirk and others spent a lot of time talking about Aaron Judge in the pregame meeting. Judge had a single and a double, 2 for 4 yesterday, but Kevin Gausman struck him out in one of the biggest moments of the game. The exact same lineup for Aaron Boone and the Yankees today as they had yesterday.
I'm a little surprised at that there are 6 left-handed hitters in this lineup, and Trey Yesavage has that very good split-finger pitch. Left-handers this season have hit 161, obviously very limited at bats, but 11 strikeouts in 35 plate appearances by left-handed hitters, and there's a lot of swing and miss in this Yankee lineup. If Trey Yesavage understands what Kevin Gausman did yesterday, pound the strike zone with your fastball, set up your secondary pitches, and you should have a good outing. Gausman was 17 of 22 first pitch strikes in that outing, and he put the pressure on the Yankee hitters all afternoon. Defensively, the Blue Jays flashed the leather yesterday. There are 5 Gold Glovers on this field. When you look at the outfield defense, Varsho, Straw, both Gold Glove winners in center field. Up the middle, you've got 2 Gold Glovers, Andres Jimenez and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the former Yankee playing second base. Vladdy's got a Gold Glove. Ernie Clement's going to win one this year as the utility Gold Glove player in the American League.
How about this, Buck? When Trey Yesavage made his pro debut for Dunedin in Jupiter in April, there were 327 people in the stands. There's considerably more than that here today, and he starts off Trent Grisham with a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, he might have more family and friends in the crowd today than that crowd.
He has come a long way in a very short period of time and has become a very important part of this pitching staff. They could have gone in other directions. Chris Bassett could be starting today. Max Scherzer could be starting today. Trey Yesavage with family in attendance. His parents.
I'll tell you what, they're more nervous than Trey.
Yep. And there's the first splitter swung on and missed this afternoon. It's 1-2.
Yesavage, his splitter has more dramatic movement than Kevin Gausman's, so that could really be an asset for him today. Just 2 for 18 against that splitter.
And look at it, he's ready to go. He is motionless right now as Grisham has used his timeout. Yesavage wants to get back to work. Got him! Everybody in this ballpark has gotten to know the name Trey Yesavage. They've heard about the arm angle. They've heard about the splitter. The Yankees, of course, are seeing it firsthand for the first time. And now Yesavage to face Judge. That's a slider. He'll use the slider more against righties, the splitter less often.
Yeah, the slider doesn't have that dramatic horizontal break, but it breaks down very sharply. That's a splitter that got away from him. Coming into this game, 10 of his 16 strikeouts this season have come on a split finger fastball.
Outside as he falls behind Judge, 3-0. The Yankees, the highest scoring team in the major leagues during the regular season, but held to just 1 run on 6 hits yesterday in Game 1. And a 4-pitch walk to put Judge aboard.
Now, the Yankees were just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. They had a couple of chances in the 6th inning to break the game wide open. and the Blue Jays pitchers shut him down.
And Gausman struck out Judge with the bases loaded, and then to end the inning, Louis Varland struck out Giancarlo Stanton. And then the Blue Jays blew it open offensively after that. Here's Cody Bellinger, went 0 for 3 with a bases loaded walk in yesterday's game, as he takes just low, ball 1. The Yankees will take walks. They do have a lot of guys with a good sense of the strike zone. Yesavage needs to be in and close enough to the zone to get Chase on that splitter. And that's 6 balls in a row now, and he wants a new baseball.
Yeah, but what you have to do if you're Alejandro Kirk is don't give him location. Just sit in the middle of the plate and let that fastball work to the corners. Don't have to try to get him so fine, especially in this first inning. Let him settle in, find his release point, and get command of the strike zone.
There he goes, 2-1. He is an extremely composed, poised 22-year-old. But still, this is his 4th major league appearance, and he's pitching in a playoff game against the New York Yankees. This would have anybody's heart beating a little bit quicker. Another fastball for a strike, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, and you know what? He's got enough velocity on that fastball to really create some swing and miss on that splitter.
Bellinger has not seen a splitter yet. 4 fastballs so far. He saw one there and just ticked it foul. It remains 2-2.
You know, the Yankees have a veteran lineup, and veterans don't feel real comfortable facing a guy they've never seen before. They like to have multiple at-bats against a pitcher, so they have a pattern. They can guess how he's going to be pitched. But these veterans, they like facing more veteran pitchers than rookies.
Swing and a miss to get him right back to the splitter for out number 2.
Talk about a mound presence. He walks to the mound and looks like he's pitched 10 years in the big leagues, and this is a terrific splitter. Got right on top of it, and it breaks dramatically down and gets the swing and miss.
And now Ben Rice, and this was the one lineup question that Aaron Boone toyed with. Does he leave Rice or does he go to Paul Goldschmidt? Again, Yesavage has done better against lefties because of that splitter. Goldschmidt, a right-handed batter, but he decided, and Rice didn't look great against Gausman in his splitter yesterday, but Boone decided to leave Rice in the lineup and in the cleanup spot.
Yeah, Rice has struck out both of his first 2 plate appearances against Gausman and that split finger fastball. I mean, he wasn't close.
.26 home runs during the season for Rice. Judge the lead. And a swing and a miss. Another flail at the split. It's 1-2.
They didn't have crowds like this in East Carolina.
Ooh, they did. Scherzer, Bieber, everybody looking on from the third base dugout. And they see another strikeout as he gets Rice. A walk to Judge, but nothing further. Trey Yesavage with an extremely impressive first inning and an extremely impressive beginning to his major league career over the last couple of weeks. One of the things that makes him tough is his unique arm angle. We're going to show you the difference between Yesavage and Kevin Gausman, who's got a fairly typical arm angle. Gausman on the left. You can measure anything. StatCast 37 degrees. Look at Yesavage way up over the top. The second highest arm angle for any pitcher in the major leagues. How does that, Buck, make things tougher for a hitter?
Well, Kevin Gausman has what we would call a high 3/4 delivery, and it's pretty average. But what hitters look for is they try to locate that release point, and they will get in their mind, okay, I got to look to the right of his hat. That's where I've got to find his release point. Well, with Yesavage, you got to look straight up in the air over his hat. That's where the ball comes from. And because he throws a slider and a splitter, those are perfect pitches for that arm angle because his hand is on top of both the slider and the splitter, and he gets dramatic movement on both.
Here's Giancarlo Stanton, who looks at a fastball for a strike. Stanton went 0 for 4 yesterday, including a strikeout in one of the biggest moments of the game, as we have mentioned already, the Louis Varland K in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss, 0-2. That's the slider, but his slider does not move a lot horizontally away from a righty. It basically breaks straight down. If you're trying to figure out the difference between the slider and the splitter, again, slider more to righties, splitter more to lefties. The slider averages about 89, the splitter more 85, 86, and it'll fade down and away from a lefty or down and into a righty. 2-2.
Yeah, the pitcher for me that threw a slider like that was Juan Guzman. And Guzman had a terrific postseason run for these Blue Jays as well. But his slider, a lot of hitters thought it was a forkball because it had such dramatic downward movement.
Stanton lays off and it's full. Jazz Chisholm Jr. on deck, and then Ryan McMahon. No score here, top 2. You know, you think about how young Yesavage is to at the age of 22. 4 years ago, he spent 3 years at East Carolina. So 4 or 5 years ago, he's in high school. Like Giancarlo Stanton was Giancarlo Stanton. Aaron Judge was Aaron Judge. And he's now pitching to these guys in a playoff game. Got him. He's retired 4 batters, all by strikeout.
Now, he's 22 years old. He's the youngest Blue Jay in franchise history to start a postseason game. And this is a slider, and you see how it breaks straight down. So you think, okay, this is going to be a splitter, but he has a different break on it, and certainly gets the same results.
Now the second baseman, Jazz Chisholm Jr. And a half swing, and he's popped it up. Jimenez called off by Schneider. 2 down.
Well, that was good communication right there. Jimenez called for it right off the bat, had his hand in the air. But here comes Schneider, and you can see Jimenez applauding the effort. He's calling for it right there, and then Schneider says, no, I got it. So Jimenez pulls out of his way, and it's an easy play for the outfielder.
2 down here in the top of the second, and the batter is the third baseman, Ryan McMahon, who had some good at-bats yesterday for the Yankees. Wound up 1 for 3 as he takes high ball 1.
Well, he hit that ball in the second inning that Vladdy dove for, made the double play. He hit a line drive and looked like it was going to be an extra base hit.
And there's an elevated splitter taken for a called strike, 1-1. Stanton wants to get a look at what he just saw.
Now, there's going to be a lot of Yankees studying what they have seen. A lot of conversation in that dugout. What do you think? Where do we look? How do we find his release point?
Tried to split. McMahon wouldn't chase. 2-2. There's a lot of conversation going on. Line drive to right field, and the sun not an issue.
Welcome back. Trey Yesavage's time in college playing in front of raucous crowds has really prepared him for this afternoon in a sense that he's able to really stay even-keeled. He's learned to control his breathing and really stay in the present. As you heard him say in his pregame availability, he is definitely built for this moment. And John Schneider agrees Yesavage can handle all the rigors of an important game because, for one, Schneider says he is not afraid to shake off his catcher if he's feeling good about a certain pitch in a certain situation. That just shows you how confident the 22-year-old is. Yesavage shook a little bit more in Kansas City than he did in Tampa. Now, of course, you want to lean into what a guy has been doing well, but at the same time, he has to trust that his catcher has done his work as well. Yesavage won't really understand what it's like to face a storied franchise and dangerous hitters like the New York Yankees until he's out here. But preparing for this afternoon, he said, has been very exciting. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. It is a huge story for this team right now. And, you know, we've all been lucky enough to see this kind of play itself out in live time over the last several months and now over the last couple of weeks at the big league level. Here's kind of the full statement. Everybody, you know, has heard the line, "I'm built for this." The statement was, "I'm used to pitching in big spots in college, rowdy environments, home and road." This is my favorite part. "And granted, there will be a lot more people here at this one and more energy, but pause, I'm built for this." He also said, when he was asked about, you know, how he physically feels, this is a long season. It's his first year as a pro, much different than college. But the Blue Jays had a plan, not necessarily knowing he would get to the majors this year, but just in case they wanted to keep that door open. So if you look at his line in the minors, a lot of 4-inning starts, some 5-inning starts. But Buck, they left enough innings in the tank that if this happened, they could use him.
Yeah, John Snyder said he really didn't appear on the radar until he got to Double-A. Once he got to Double-A, they said, wow, this kid's made an adjustment. Then he got to Triple-A, and he continued to establish himself as a strike thrower and a guy that could overpower hitters. That's when he really became a focal point for the organization.
Swing and a miss. He gets Volpe. He's got 5 strikeouts through 2 1/3, and nobody is happier than mom and dad.
Absolutely. We saw them in Tampa Bay when he made his major league debut against the Rays, and his father has enjoyed it with the entire family. They're having a great time.
Look, Dad's high-fiving anybody he can reach right now. He's making friends fast. Imagine sitting, and they're in the family section. I would imagine that the team gets tickets for families, but imagine sitting down and turning to the guy next to you and saying, "So why are you here?" "Oh, I'm Trey Yesavage's dad."
I actually met somebody in the hallway that said, "We got pictures with Trey Yesavage's father." So he's even a celebrity.
He's becoming a folk hero. 0-2 on Austin Wells. Got another one.
First time through the order. One of the best offensive teams in baseball. He has 6 strikeouts. I mean, it's as if he's been doing this his whole life.
The only base runner, a walk to Judge in the first. They're all trying to figure out Yesavage, and this was part of what the Blue Jays thought could really work, the element of surprise. Teams, almost every team has something called a traject machine, which is very lifelike. It's like a hologram of the pitcher, and you can put in their face, their arm angle, their pitches, their spin. But the Yankees, all teams only have that machine at home. So the Yankees have not had a chance to stand in there and take Trey Yesavage simulated at bats off the traject machine. Splitter fouled off, and it's 1-2, and you can see they are all trying to figure out what they're dealing with right now.
And you look how quickly he's working in this game. That tells me he's extremely confident and feels comfortable. Pete Walker's pretty comfortable right now, too.
They are booing Grisham for using his timeout, and again, Yesavage motionless, basically, just waiting to get back to work. Fastball just missed, and you can see he knows the splitter is such a weapon. That splitter's in their mind, and he can get that 95 by him sometimes.
Ryan Cheer, he's leaning on Alejandro Kirk, who's become a terrific catcher.
2-2, bounced in.
You see Kirk emphasizing he wanted that down, finish that splitter, and unfortunately he bounced it, but Kirk was pounding the dirt with his catcher's mitt to emphasize, hey, finish the pitch, get it down.
2 down, the base is empty, Judge on deck, and the 3-2 to Grisham. And Trey Yesavage just struck out the side. Jam-packed and rocking Rogers Center right now. It is 5-0 Blue Jays. 2 in the second, 3 in the third. Oh, and by the way, Trey Yesavage has struck out 7 through 3 innings so far.
One base runner. Aaron Judge walked with one out in the first. That's the only Yankee that's reached base. A dominant start for Trey Yesavage. He's the second rookie in franchise history to start a postseason game. Juan Guzman was the other.
He's the youngest Blue Jay to ever start a postseason game, more than 2 years younger than Aaron Sanchez was when he started a game back in 2016. Judge walked on 4 pitches in the first, the only base runner the Yankees have had. And he didn't flinch at that splitter. Takes it low, a ball and a strike. So they're starting to see him second time through. Grisham already did, but Yesavage struck him out to end the last inning. Be interesting to see what, if any, adjustments they appear to make, and what, if any, adjustments he may feel he needs to make to counter that.
Yeah, he made his first start against the Rays, and they really were overmatched. 9 strikeouts in 5+ innings. And then the Rays hitters, I talked to them after the game, and he said, well, you know, it was unusual. We didn't see his release point before. Second time they faced him, they didn't do any better.
And that pitch there, that was a slider. That was not his splitter, but even his slider goes straight down, or on occasion it goes into a right-handed hitter. That's a slider, and it's going the other way.
It's backing up. Yeah.
That's a more typical slider there as he misses down and away. Not the miss, the direction it went. Now 3-2 on Judge.
When he gets more experience, he's going to learn how to throw a breaking ball that'll break down and away from right-handed hitters.
He strikes out Judge.
This is unbelievable. This fellow's going to be worn out. 8 strikeouts through 3 1/3 of one of the most dangerous hitting teams in baseball. But they do strike out a lot, and they're facing a pitcher they've never seen before.
Cody Bellinger. He struck out in the first. Two main reasons for starting Trey Yesavage in this game. One, let him start at home instead of at Yankee Stadium. He's 22, 4th major league outing. 2, you start him in game 2, you can have him, if needed, in some capacity in game 5. Should this series go the distance, Kevin Gausman would be lined up to start game 5 on an extra day of rest. But 2 to 5 is regular rest because of 2 off days built into the series. So Yesavage pitching in this game means he could come back and do something in 5. They would be less likely to ask that of Shane Bieber, who you see there, who will start game 3 at Yankee Stadium. And again, it's not short rest, it's regular rest. But Bieber coming off Tommy John, let him start in the hostile environment in New York. He's a veteran. Let Yesavage start at home and be available for game 5. Popped up. Looks like it is heading out of play, and it will.
Yeah, and for that game 5 situation, Yesavage and his arsenal play better out of the bullpen than the other 2 starters. You wouldn't want the other 2 starters pitch out of the bullpen because they're just not suited for it. But his arsenal plays very well out of the bullpen, just like it does as a starter.
On their feet. And the 3-2 to Bellinger. He got another one. He's got 9 strikeouts.
Well, that ties his career high in his 4th game. He got 9 strikeouts. He had 9 strikeouts in his debut against the Rays, and this is that splitter. He grips the splitter outside of those seams so he doesn't have a lot of resistance and gets the perfect spin out of his hand. Very difficult for hitters to pick it up.
Only 2 Yankees have put a ball in play. Jazz Chisholm Jr. hit a lazy fly ball to left. Ryan McMahon's got the only solid contact, a line out to right. 9 strikeouts, already a franchise postseason record. This game is in the 4th. fastball taken for a strike, 1-2.
His rhythm is exceptional. Getting the ball back, towing the rubber. He's ready to throw the next pitch.
Inside, 2-2. Struck out the side again. And a few of his teammates appear to be as well, given what we are seeing here today. Just a mind-boggling 4 innings today on both sides of the ball, that a 22-year-old rookie making his 4th appearance can do what Yesavage has done, and that the Blue Jay bats did what they did to Max Fried.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible what they have done, both sides of the baseball, as you mentioned. And we saw some of this the first time we saw Trey Yesavage. Remember in Tampa Bay, he gave up a run to the first 2 batters he faced. Chandler Simpson and Yandy Diaz went back-to-back, and Tampa Bay was ahead 1-0. It never fazed him one bit. He kept pounding that strike zone and ended up with 9 strikeouts in 5+ innings.
Carlos Stanton leading off the 5th for the Yankees. It's a ground ball to third, scooped by Clement. The throw pulls Vladdy off the bag, but the tag applied, 1 down.
Yeah, it's very difficult to play defense when your pitcher has struck out 10 guys. Nothing's put in play. So you're standing out there kind of bored, and Ernie made a nice play on that hot shot off the bat of Giancarlo Stanton.
It'll be interesting. Bucky Yesavage, is happy as he is, obviously, to get the offensive support. He was in that dugout for 25 minutes. That's a long time. You can see Bassett, Bieber, and others looking on. Shane Bieber did his time with the media today because he's starting Game 3 on Tuesday. And one of the questions that he was asked is, you know, has a young guy like Yesavage come up to guys like you and Bassett? That's off the glove or foot, perhaps, of Guerrero. And Chisholm is going to reach.
Vladdy makes that play 9 times out of 10. He's a very good fielder, and he's upset that he missed that ball. That ball went to his right. He's very good at backhanding this ball, and they're going to charge him with an error. Vladdy made 9 errors during the regular season, and this one is a playable ball. He'll tell you he should have caught that one.
So a 1-out base runner for the Yankees. Here's Ryan McMahon. Lined out to right his first time out.
Ender got that foul chip right on his arm, it looked like.
So back to Bieber, sitting there with the Bassett and Gausman. Bieber was asked, has a young guy like Yesavage come up to you and Bassett and Gausman and Barrios and Scherzer, all these veterans, and asked for advice? And Bieber kind of paused and smiled. He said, well, the nice thing about us is we don't need him to come to us. We're the kind of group, we're going to go to him. And again, you could only imagine over the last 3 weeks or so all the lessons and the advice that Trey Yesavage has been getting from all of these veteran pitchers.
Yeah, when you sit in the Blue Jays dugout when you're not pitching, you're in a master class of pitching. You've got so many great pitchers in there, and they all talk pitching every single day.
Couple of strikes on McMahon. And he wouldn't chase that splitter. That's a good spot for it, but you know, again, maybe bit by bit the Yankees getting a little bit more comfortable, although Yesavage has struck out Grisham, Bellinger, and Rice twice today.
And that fastball is still beating the hitters when he does throw it. 95 on that last heater, and McMahon was late. Only 3 balls have been put into play against Trey Yesavage.
1-2. This is popped up foul. Clement into foul territory. He's got room. 2 down.
Ernie had a long run. He just wasn't sure how far he was going to have to run, but he put his head down and broke into foul territory. And then he looked up, and it wasn't quite as close to the Blue Jays dugout as he expected.
Now's Anthony Volpe. He struck out in his one at bat. And swings over the top of that one. It's 0-1. And again, that's the slider, but it just goes a different way sometimes than just about anybody else's slider goes. It should go down and away, but something about the arm angle or the release, and sometimes even the slider, goes in on a right-handed hitter. And now he dots a fastball, 0-2.
Look how quickly he toes the rubber. I mean, he is feeling it.
Well, as the man said, Buck, he's built for this. I think he knew what he was talking about. Just missed. Just a hint of a strut coming off the mound here in the fifth. That is 11 strikeouts through 5 remarkable innings from Trey Yesavage here this afternoon in his postseason debut. It is 12-0. The Blue Jays have hit 4 homers. Trey Yesavage has not allowed a hit, and he has struck out 11. Only 2 base runners, a walk and an error. Here's Austin Wells to lead off the 6th. And a swing and a miss at a first pitch splitter. Wells struck out in the 3rd. Popped up. And Jimenez the catch. You know, but think about what it meant to win the tiebreaker and win the division. Instead of having to go play the Red Sox in a 3-game series like the Yankees did and then come on the road, the Blue Jays got some rest. They started here, and Trey Yesavage is going to reap the rewards of a job well done here today. Look at Vladdy giving him an ovation, a hug from Kirk. This is going to be definite. Enjoy every step. What an incredible performance.